Welcome to Broke-Ass to Badass, where heart-led entrepreneurs learn to build the businesses and lives of their dreams with confidence, ease, and joy. This is the anti-hustle movement, and we're your coaches in badassery, Kimi and Pua.
Find out more at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening to this, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Hey guys, today is our final training, our third training in our Blow Up Your Email List in 2019 summit that we did on our BLE Digital page on Facebook. So you definitely want to go back and listen to the past two episodes, training 1 and training 2, before you listen to this one, and then come back to this one and we're going to teach you some advanced strategies that we love for blowing up your email list. And we're also going to share some exciting announcements because Broke-Ass to Badass Spring Enrollment is now open. This is our online marketing training program for heart-led entrepreneurs, and we're running this program just 2 times this year, spring and fall. So now's the chance to find out more. We also are going to be sharing in this episode a early bird code for you early birds to get a really great savings. So enjoy this episode and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yay! All right, so here we are, training 3, the third and final training of our Blow Up Your Email List Summit. Wow, it's like so crazy to me that it's already almost the end of January 2019. But here we are, and today we're going to kind of like geek out on some little bit more like advanced strategies for blowing up your email and some cool stuff that we're excited about in this year. And really this year, the end of like last quarter and this year, we are so focused on blowing up our email. And we just love sharing with you guys anything that we're working on and things that we're like geeking out and really super excited about. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and we have some cool announcements and fun stuff, and I'm just going to take a drink of water because I'm so thirsty.
I'm just going to watch you drink because that's fun.
That's not awkward. So we're not going to go too much into a really big recap for our first couple trainings because, hopefully you guys caught those, and if you didn't, they are available to you in a very convenient on-the-go format on our podcast. So if you go to our podcast, Broke-Ass to Badass, and the best way to like get plugged into our podcast if you don't want to like go and search, most people have like their own podcast app that they prefer. But if you don't, one of the best ways that you can get plugged in is to just go to bledigital.com/podcast. And that'll show you like all the different places that you can get plugged into our podcast. We're like everywhere. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, of course, Podbean. And we'd love to hear, like, drop it in the comments below. Like, we're always so fascinated to hear where people listen to our podcast. So drop it in the comments. Let us know. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast, there's obviously no comments you can drop that into. And thanks for being a podcast listener. We love you. But yeah, get plugged in there because as you're on the go, you can like turn your car or whatever transportation you use into a traveling classroom, and you can catch up on training 1 and training 2. And we also have a worksheet that goes along with this training too. So if you kind of like, you prefer following along in worksheet format, you want to do like a little bit of Mad Libs, fill in the blanks, and also see some of the stats that we shared about email marketing. If you want to, just catch up on the other trainings, you can get that at bledigital.com/blow-up. So just like super brief recap, we talked in the first training about, kind of like why email marketing and why we're so excited about it and why we're so focused about it, which of course, like email marketing, you're going to see such a great, we were just talking about this in a Broke-Ass to Badass members call just now, in terms of like where to spend your time and your energy. email marketing is going to give you such a great return on, I just totally spit, such a great return on investment in your time and your energy. And it can be really tempting, right, to like focus a lot of our energy on all these shiny objects that are around us all the time, because the digital marketing space is like, oh, there's so much cool stuff out there. But email marketing historically and like looking forward, it's going to be there. So, and people that are on your list are really going to be, depending if you have a good email marketing campaign going, they're going to be really warmed up to you. And so it's just such a special way to connect with people. And while, again, it may not be the sexiest thing because there are a lot of other super sexy looking things out there, we think email marketing is incredibly sexy. And hopefully by going back, listening to our other trainings and listening to this one, you're going to agree with us. So so we talked about some basic email marketing 101 kind of stuff that you can do, nurturing your list. And we're going to dig into some like more advanced, cool stuff today. I almost swore, but I didn't.
I don't know where you are in this doc. I'm very sorry.
I just recapped, so we're just at the top.
Are we still recapping?
Nope, we're at the top.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
We're at the top. Take from the top.
I'm learning. Teaching. You're doing such a good job.
Well, so let's just start out with a few like, advanced kind of fun strategies. They're fun because I do feel like it's really important. We were talking about this. Like, it's really important to not worry about all the crazy things that you could do and start with where you're at, right? Start with where you're at. So first of all, the basics that we talked about in our other trainings is like, again, whether you have 1 email subscriber or 1,000, just start where you are. Really take some time to think about your strategy. The worksheet is going to help you to lay out your strategy. You want to think big vision first. And you want to at least have know when people do start becoming part of your email tribe, your list of emails. What are you going to do with them? How often are you going to be connecting with them? And what is your plan for once you get those emails? Because none of the strategies that we share to collect emails is a great idea until you know what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be communicating with them. And in our Brooke Estevada's call just now, we were talking about email list hygiene. And one of our members had a question about that, like how often should you clear out your list? How important is that? And, it's basically like making sure that that you're emailing people in a way and sharing with them things that they actually want, right? That's like email hygiene, and like clearing out your list on a regular basis, because if you're constantly sending people things that they don't want, or in a way that is not appealing to them, or you haven't gotten their permission, you're going to be seen as a spammer, right? And that's like the thing that you want to avoid as a email marketer doing any of your email marketing. The moment that somebody is like, spam, it brings down your deliverability rates to people. And actually, I just read this. If you haven't emailed somebody that you have their email if you haven't emailed them in over 4 months, then they're considered cold. And that will actually be seen as spam, right? So you want to be thinking about ways that you can warm up your audience. You're going to deliver value. And if you're going to be collecting emails with some of these strategies that we're going to be sharing, some of these fun advanced strategies, have a plan for after. And that's way more important. So again, go back to trainings 1 and 2 to really get clear about how you're going to be communicating with people, how often, and what you're going to be saying. Because once you have those emails, you don't just want to hoard them and hold them in this email bucket. You're really going to want to nurture that and build a relationship with them.
I just want to learn from you today, I think. I have things I could say, but it's just not as good.
Well, let's share our fun strategy that we've been using lately with the help of our Facebook ads ninja, Sherry Lee.
Oh, me? Okay. Well, so email, let's take a step back first, I think, because this is something, especially for people who either have a new business. So I just came across this the other day where there was a new organization and they were adding to their list their personal email contact. So we've talked before about GDPR, how you have to opt in, and really like an email list is not a list of as many emails as you can get from any source. And for many newer entrepreneurs, like the game becomes how to build your list the fastest in whatever way possible, because all the statistics, right? Like what was it? You make $1 for every 1,000 people on your list per month or something like that. And it's a numbers game, and the bigger your list, the bigger your conversions, the better your launches. And we cannot stress enough the importance of creating a list of people that are appropriate for your business and your service. With that said, once you have that system moving, and we'll share about that in a second, that's what Kimi was hinting at. But once you have that, all of the other things that feel a little bit overwhelming or techie or complicated, it becomes very easy, because rather than writing emails to sell your product, you're writing emails to start a conversation with the person who you can help. Right? And so if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, girls, this is too much. Like, this is too overwhelming for me. I give up. Like, just remember that you are having a conversation with somebody who strolled into your store. You didn't put a bag over their head and chains on their hand and drag them in from the street. Like, they voluntarily walked in, so they want to hear from you. And as soon as you can shift your perspective to thinking about your email list and the people that are on it in that way, all of this feels lighter and easier and more fun. So recently what we've done, and again, we've shared this before, where we didn't really have an email list building strategy, but we have one now. And we didn't put any importance on this email list. We just had it kind of running in the background, but now we have. And one of the biggest shifts we've made in the last, I would even say, couple of months is starting to create Facebook ads that specifically drive people to our email list to a free download. And it's a little bit more complex than this, which is why we hired an expert. And we have somebody named Sherry Lee who runs all of our ads for us. And the thing about Facebook ads that we absolutely love, that's better than any other paid advertising on the planet, is the fact that you can target it so specifically. So that's what we mean by finding who is that ideal client, who's your avatar, who is the person that really, really needs what you have to offer, and how can you create ad targets to attract that exact human. So once you have that, and Sherry Lee did a lot of testing for us. She tested different audiences. She tested on, like the way that people react to things that we post on our page even. And there are things that you can do called retargeting, where you retarget the people who are already on your email list, already opted into your Facebook pages, things like that, to really dial in the targeting. So Facebook ads, very, very like well-polished Facebook ads and great targeting, plus a great download that your ideal client really, really, really loves and needs and wants and is stoked on, is kind of like a no-brainer, easy peasy way to grow your list with the people that are going to be your future clients.
Yeah. Oh, let's also, let's see, where do we want to go from here? Yeah, let's just move on to the next strategy, because
I don't know where, I don't think that's on the doc, and I don't think I set you up for anything.
Perfect. That's perfect. We can't say enough great things about Sherry Lee too. She's helped us so much. Definitely follow her on Facebook. We'll drop some links in the chat here. Okay, let's see. So here's our next little bit more advanced strategy. And actually, I don't even think that this is necessarily has to be considered an advanced strategy, because it's a really effective thing that you can do now. When people come through our program, Broadcast to Badass, we absolutely recommend within those 8 weeks that they do something like this, right? And this is just about like helping people to build their lists through some type of online free training. So guaranteed, if you're watching this, you have traded your email at some point for some type of free training online, whether that be a webinar. I mean, basically it's a webinar. They're called so many different things, right? There's like webinar, web class, online training. There's all the same thing. But there are different ones in terms of the model, right? So there are ones that are evergreen, meaning that they're not necessarily done live. There's something that is recorded and then you can opt in at any time. So it's just an ongoing thing. A lot of people will do Facebook ads to their evergreen webinar. Sure, most of you have heard of this model before, but it is such an effective way to really help people to get to know, like, and trust you, and to build up an email list of people that are really interested in exactly what it is that you're teaching. So we have historically seen like the biggest jumps actually when we have used this strategy. Doing some type of webinar is a great way, especially if you are interested in doing some Facebook ads to this as well. It's a great way to build up your list and to build up.
We did this by accident.
Yeah. Well,
we ran a webinar and then we were like, holy smokes, our email list grew by 300. Right?
So
because like the people who register become people on your list. Now, can we just throw out here, like, full disclosure? This was from a webinar that we ran last fall, and we put $1,500 of ad spend to it to get 300 people registered. Now, this was run over, don't do this, guys. This was run over Thanksgiving week. Biggest mistake ever. But we learned a lot and it was really great. And now we're just learning from it and applying what we learned to our launch right now and blah, 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 blah. Whatever the case is, guys, don't run anything on Thanksgiving week. Enjoy the holiday. But so we did beef up our ad spend significantly to get people registered for the webinar, which in turn brought us webinar registrants and a huge email list. And I know this is like so not where we're going, but it's really something that I feel strongly about sharing, because had we known this, we may have gone about things a little bit differently. So for this webinar, the goal was conversions, right? So we brought all these people from Facebook ads who had never seen us before, most likely, to this webinar. The issue that we came across was essentially this group was cold. Right? Maybe they saw the webinar ad that day and they're like, oh, this looks helpful. So they sign up for the webinar, they learn a lot from it, but they don't know us well enough to know if they want to opt in and convert as a paying client. Okay. So if you guys do a webinar, keep that in mind. The people who came to that webinar in this launch that we're running right now, 2 months later, may very well convert because they've had a couple of months. They were on our email list. They're getting our emails. They're listening to our podcast. They're here in the page, in the tribe. And the know, like, and trust factor for that group of people of 300 is going up, right? So just a little it's great for email list building, but if you're running a webinar for conversions, just keep that in mind. And don't get too down on yourself if conversions aren't super awesome right out of the gate.
Yeah, and for sure. And it just depends on your price point too, right? So it's the price point of what you're trying to convert them to, and that has to be factored in with a cold audience always, right? Because you kind of want to, like, people want to get to know you before they're, depending on whether you're asking them to invest $10 at the end or thousands of dollars, right? So it really is about how warm that audience is for whatever it is that you're sharing with them as well. And I can't stress enough too. I think it's just all about value. It's all about the value that you deliver in an online training, the value that you're giving your community, how you're showing up in people's inbox. We really believe in the heart-led entrepreneur business model, and it's not about getting people or getting leads. It's about connecting with people and sharing what you have to share with them in a way that is authentic and real and helpful, and just sharing as you go and giving them as much value. Because what people will do is they'll feel like, wow, if this is what they're willing to share in their emails and on their podcasts and webinars and trainings, free trainings, webinars, whatever it is, imagine what they can expect, imagine what we can expect in their programs and their courses, right? And so yeah, value. And I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but it's worth mentioning again. It can get funky, right? As we're dealing with numbers, because we start thinking about people in terms of numbers, and it's like a daily practice to just remind you again and again, like, wow, like there are this many people watching right now. There are this many people listening. There are this many people that raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested in that, or this might be able to help. And just bringing the humanity back to online marketing. I feel like that's like our constant mission, because it's so important to do, is not to just look at people in terms of numbers, even though we're like telling people to track numbers, right?
Well, the people aren't the numbers. Like you are speaking to a human, but your numbers are insanely important, right? Just in terms of like creating an intentional strategy, right? So, and understanding your numbers, because so we did this like for a really long time. We had an email list. How many people were on it? We don't know. Every time somebody asked us, we had to look it up. And then we'd run these launches, or we'd send these emails, and we'd be like, oh, I bet we'll get 20 people signing up for this thing at $200. And so we're going to have a $4,000 email. And, like we'd cross our fingers, send it out, say a prayer, and then a couple of bites, a couple of clicks, right? And we, as like humans, this is what we do before we understand online business and online marketing and sales and all of that, which is why we're here, so that you guys don't send out an email and hope for the best, right? It's super important to at least understand what your targets are and what you're working with, right? And again, this is very, very tangible and hard and like physical. And there's also the energy and the intention that you're putting into what you create that is going to go out there and attract the right people, attract people to convert as clients, right? So it is mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all in one in your business, and it's all reflected all the time. So take that, do what you want with it.
Amen. All right. So speaking of webinars, let's share a little bit about ours that's coming up, in case anybody might be able to benefit from what we're going to be sharing. So our intention really for this, like, we're so excited for this to be like learning year for you, right? So we created this summit for you in January to help focus on the number one thing that we're focusing on too, which is email list building. And it's our intention to have that there on the podcast for you. We're here as a resource so that as you get your email marketing strategy and plan set in place, then you can dig into social media as a way to, as we said before, like supplement whatever it is that you're doing with your email campaign. Because we really feel that prioritizing that is an amazing way, like that's going to set you up for success. Like, just to say that amazing statistic again that we heard, that for every dollar, every subscriber is worth on average $1 a month in revenue, right? So if you,
every 1,000 subscribers,
every
is worth $1, right?
No. So 1,000 subscribers is like $1,000 on average. Is that right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, $1,000 a month for every 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. Okay. You said it right.
$1,000 a month for every. So if you
$1.
Like $1 a subscriber, right? So if you think about that, then think about what your numbers are, whatever your business goals are. And again, like, we don't have a lot of like regrets in our business, because we feel that everything that we've learned, we get to teach it, and there's all that value and all of that. But oh my gosh, email list building is something that we wish we had started earlier, for sure. And so be thinking about that as a foundation of your digital marketing strategy for the year. You're not going to be disappointed with the results as you continue to increase and deliver and serve and all of that. And what email is going to do is it allows you then to really use these other cool tools that we have available to us, social media of any kind, podcasting, whatever it may be, to supplement what it is that you're doing with your email. So all of these like satellite places that people are connecting with you can drive back to that email list. So how do we, if we're so focused on, like here we are, we're telling you like, okay, focus on your email list, but also social media, right? Which is what our webinar is going to be about, by the way, a little sneak peek. but like first of all, take a deep breath and don't feel like you have to do it all. And our intention is to help you to figure out how to bring all of these pieces together in the most efficient and effective way. Right. So for those of you that have heard us talk about like laziness, productive laziness, and fierce efficiency, it's like we're talking about lazy in terms of figuring out the easiest, most joyous way that you can get something done and get the most results by doing less. And this is, we're all about like the anti-hustle movement. We're not here to tell you like, do more, do all the things. We're here to help you to figure out how can you reach the most people and serve and support the most people with your message in a way that has you feeling good, right? That doesn't burn you out, that helps you to reach the most amount of people with the least amount of hustle, if that makes sense.
It sure does. I couldn't follow the doc, so I closed it.
Okay.
Now I'm real lost.
We're just talking.
Okay.
People are like, what's the doc?
It's the holy grail of podcasting that I decide to not be a part of.
So the thing is, right, it's like it's so easy. And you guys, we fall into this comparison trap all the time because as you grow as an entrepreneur, there's always going to be somebody that's ahead. And also on the flip side, you're going to be ahead of other people. And those are the people that you're supposed to support too, by the way. And there's no ahead or behind in life and all of that. But you get it, right? There's always going to be like, wow, this idea that, oh my gosh, it looks like this person is doing all the things. And we want to be keeping in mind, like nobody is doing all the things. Okay. Let's just make that really clear. Nobody is doing all the things. And our only job is to figure out how we can use what we got, where we're at, enjoy where we're at, and get the support that we need to get us to the next level. Right. And so, yeah. So anyway, let's talk about laziness a little bit. How about that?
Yeah, we like that.
So what do we mean when we talk about being productively lazy?
Well, why do people have businesses in the first place? Like right? Like, I don't know. I don't want to work 80 hours a week. Like, I don't know anybody who does, right? And we have a business, to potentially do what we love. And somebody recently corrected me on this. A lot of people start businesses because they love what they do, but some people start businesses because they know that they are good at something, but eventually have visions to either train others to do that or sell their company. Oh God, the dog is going crazy. It's for solving problems, yes. And that is, to us, the foundation of a heart-led entrepreneur, to ease somebody's pain, ease some kind of suffering. But sometimes, and actually more often than not, people don't have long-term big visions to always provide the service, right? So for us, being lazy is kind of a fun mindset shift to get us to take action to create that lifestyle for us sooner than we would otherwise. I'm so sorry. He's on the stove. I gotta go.
Our dog is on the stove. Ziggy. Ziggle's the Frenchie. Naughty Ziggy. Our dogs, we have the naughtiest dogs ever, you guys. One thing, like, I remember us in the beginning when we got our dogs. When did we get our dogs now? When did we get our dogs? Like
why? I don't know. Terrible idea.
Yeah, why? No, remember it was like, it must have been 4 years ago, about 4 years ago. And we got puppies at the same time. Remember that? And we're like, what the F are we doing? Like, and honestly, like, talk about lazy. Like, that we were hustling a lot back then, I will say. And like, you know what's not fun when you're hustling and trying to figure things out? It's like, and
then your dog's pooping and peeing on the floor and
add a puppy
chewing up all your stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was fun.
I cried.
So, and like, to be honest, the hustle doesn't ever really end if you're a business owner. It just morphs. And I won't say the hustle doesn't end, but the grind and kind of that the challenge, the level of challenge continues to grow as your business grows. But I would say it is easier and more fun when you can dial in some of these strategies when you have money to invest in help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, like laziness is really just another way of saying working smarter, not harder, not spending 12 to 14 hours a day staring at your computer screen, giving yourself the freedom to choose whether you want to work or not work, with the confidence that if you choose to work or not work, the work is getting done.
Yep. And your resources expand as well, right? So you can, if you are thinking ahead, keep talking about what we talked about in our call. It was a juicy call, you guys. But we were talking about like what Ari says, right? Making yourself replaceable in your company. And even if you're doing all the things right now, if you really start thinking in a different way, thinking about how you can be lazier and more efficient, thinking about how, if you, like, let's say that you wanted to take a 3-month vacation in Bali, could you do that right now? Like, are there systems in place for you to be able to replace yourself if you decided to do something like that? And these are just like fun thought experiments that can help you to set up your business in a way that is expandable. Like it's sustainable. It can like hold the expansion, because the things that work when you are a solopreneur in the beginning will not work at a level when you start to grow, right? We take everything and like, imagine right now, all the numbers, all the things that you're doing. If you 10x that, could you hold the capacity for it as you are right now, as your systems are set up right now? So we like to think about these things because why? Because we want to grow. And as we grow, we want to make sure that, yeah, we have the systems in place to support that growth. What were we talking about? Laziness. So let's talk about our webinar, because our webinar is all about lazy strategies for social media success. And we call it that because, yes, we are online business owners and we love it. We love online life and digital marketing and all of this. That does not mean that we want to be online all day long. And no matter who you are, like, being online all day sucks. And no matter how fun you think it is, it's not great to feel like you are a slave to your computer or your smartphone. It's no fun to feel like you constantly are, chained to notifications and feeling like you have to be responding to everything and posting all the time. And like, as you grow, that pressure only expands if you don't have systems in place that are going to simplify the process for you and make it a little bit easier, more joyous, lazier. So we like to think about these as lazy strategies because we're talking lazy like that. We don't want to have to be online all day long. We don't want to have to spend hours and hours and hours creating content for our social media. So
it's a game. Like, how can you be the laziest entrepreneur ever? Mm-hmm. Meaning, how can you do the least amount of work possible to create the biggest results? So we don't mean sit on your couch and pray. Right. We mean set yourself up, then sit on your couch knowing that things are working in the background. Mm-hmm. So with that said, both the webinar and these 3 email trainings have been to help you do that. And so, okay, let's give some like super solid strategies. So this is something that we sell. Like, if you want us to put together your email campaign and your pop-up and write your emails for you, like, we will do that. But if you want to do it yourself, like, let's set you up and send you on your way. So a couple of the things that we've mentioned in this training that can do all of this for you. If you have MailChimp, you can put a pop-up on your website. You can create landing pages within MailChimp. So say you have a download and you want to promote just the download, rather than saying, go to my website, click on that pop-up. You can send people to a landing page created in MailChimp. You can create your 5 or 3 or 7 or whatever it is email welcome campaign, right? Remember, these are all the things that we talked about last week and the week before to set yourself up. And also, to kind of support this, you can create calls to action on your social media in every post. Maybe even create some dedicated images or quotes in, like, on social media to drive people back to your email list. So we'll go into more of this in the webinar next week. But is it next week? 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
next week? Next week?
First, if you're listening on the podcast, it's this week. If you're listening now live, it's next week.
31st.
31st.
Yeah. So you're like, a lot of times the misconception is social media is designed to convert fans into clients, right? And actually, in reality, that isn't necessarily true that often. Not many people buy directly from Instagram, let's say. However, what they do is they click on your, like if you say link in bio, check this out, they'll click on that, they'll go to your email list, they'll get the free download. And then from there, know, like, and trust factor, special deals, discounts, bonuses, whatever you want to include to your email subscribers is where they convert to being a client, right? So we're going to start to think about social media and email as this team that works together rather than two separate entities, start trying to drive conversions. And once you can really nail that down, you're golden.
Oh, yeah. Recipe for 2019 badassery right there. So, and we're going to just give some really cool practical strategies for leveraging technology to make sure that you can like automate a bunch of stuff. So again, we're big fans of automation in any way that we can. We will be sharing templates and the ways that we use different templates and themes as a way to make things easier so that we can rinse and repeat. Because one of the biggest challenges when it comes to content creation in general is when you're like, it's like the curse of the blank sheet of paper, right? So whether you're a writer, a graphic designer, creating copy, creating social media, a blog post, whatever it may be, you sit down every day and you're like, what should I write about? What should I post today? You're going to feel like it's the heaviest, most exhausting, time and energy consuming thing in the world. So we're going to really help bring some ease and joy and fun to this. And it's going to blow your mind. So I'm like, what are you doing over there?
It just fell out of my book.
Money. It's just like
it's $1 million.
Oh, perfect.
It's $1 million bill.
We must have 1 million email subscribers. Oh, awesome. Okay, so how do people register for our webinar? They can go to
click the ad.
Click the ad. So we have an ad going to
BLEdigital.com/lazy.
Oh, BLEdigital.com/lazy. We'll get you there. And come join us. And it's kind of cool, right? To like see all of these strategies in action, I think too. So if you want to kind of see this in action, you want to see what it's like to be on our email list and part of our email fan, please join us. We would love to have you. And the webinar, we'd love to see you guys on the 31st. And we have one more exciting announcement. Da-da-da. Yeah, we do.
Is it on the doc that I closed?
Oh, I forgot you were like, you guys, the doc. The doc is what Pua and I have lived, how do I say it? Lived and died by? That's a weird saying. We've always used a shared Google Doc as a way to communicate during our podcasts. So it's a great hack for you guys if you guys are I don't know, if you happen to be two people doing a podcast together.
What to do and what not to do, though. If you have a third person helping you to organize your podcast, don't send messages to each other that are private that you don't want the third person to see. Remember that? That was fun.
Yeah. So shared Google Doc. Anyway, I was just going to share about B2B because it's officially, today is the day that we are officially open for spring.
Oh yeah.
So guys, I don't know if we've shared this with you yet. I know we've shared it in some places, but we wanted to let you know that we've made a big decision for our business this year. And it's, again, all of our decisions we filter them through what will bring us the most quality of life for ourselves and also serve
them through our heart filter.
Yes, our heart filter. And also what's going to be in the best service for our community, which is still our heart filter, right? So for the people that we serve, can I ask you what you're doing? Because I'm so curious.
I'm taking notes.
Oh my God, I thought you were
like I get ideas while you talk.
Are you sketching me right now?
I am. Take to the side just for a moment.
You're like this.
I need a profile. Oh, Lord.
It's like Titanic.
Oh, no, not like that.
Okay, so anyway, we made a big decision for our business, and that is that we are going to be doing enrollment. We're running Broadcast to Badass, our signature I was going to say experience, our signature group coaching experience. Only 2 times a year this year. So we've experimented, as we've shared, I think, with you guys in different models. And we are so excited and so proud to share with you that, yes, this is going to be run 2 times this year only. So spring and fall. And so if you have exciting goals for 2019, spring B2B is where it's at. This is a 8-week program, but of course it is more of an experience. And you guys have heard people talk about B2B here before. You've heard us talk about it. It really is a community. You have, of course, lifetime access to the trainings that we share in our B2B platform, but also to the community. And so the 8 weeks of trainings, there's group calls, and really this is for you if you're looking to, like, all the things that we've been sharing about in this summit, all the things that we're going to be sharing about in the webinar, all the things we shared with you guys on the podcast. This is where you get to work with us very closely in making sure that you implement all of the things that you want to create your vision for your business and your life. And we love this program. We love our B2B fam so much. They're all in this. If you go to the tribe, you want to ask questions about it, definitely do that. But this is the time. So just to give you guys a little bit of the kind of timeline. And of course, you're going to hear and see us talking about B2B over the next couple weeks until enrollment closes on February 12th. And you'll be getting some emails and all that good stuff. And we'll be sharing some fun content. But we do have a super amazing early bird B2B spring 19. Oh, no, that's not. I was going to say, I almost said what the thing is. Okay, so we have a badass, we have a badass early bird special. But here's what we want you to do. If you're interested, message us. Okay, just message us. Ask us your questions about it. And you can drop that into Facebook Messenger. You can drop us an email at hello@bledigital.com. Just reach out to us and let us know why you're interested in B2B, what questions you have about it. We've even opened up our calendar to hop on the phone with you if you're interested and you really want to make sure that this program is right for you. So you can find all of the information about this at broadcasttobadass.com. But really, guys, especially if you're on Facebook right now listening to this or watching this, just drop us an email on Facebook Messenger. We are humans here on the other side, and we're here to tell you all about it. Go to broadcasttobadass.com and look at it, look it over, kind of connect with people in the community, feel into it, and then message us. And yeah, we kind of let you know, like, if this is the right time, if it's the right fit for you.
Totes. And if you're like me, you're sitting there and you're like, Broadcast to Badass scam. Enter.
You'll
Go
find
ahead.
our page.
It's totally fine. We're gonna make like a spoof page.
Yeah,
it comes up when you start. Just
and
kidding.
It's us going, how dare you?
Like, do your research, because this program is not for everybody. This program is really for somebody who is ready to do the joyful, deep work to align with yourself, to really get clarity on your vision, on your business, and to take your business from maybe zero, or maybe an idea, or maybe -0, like we were in our bank accounts, to a place that feels really good, that supports you and your family, that really gives you the the business and lifestyle of your freaking dreams. So if that sounds cool, as Kimi said, definitely drop us a line. Join the tribe on Facebook. So we have an amazing community on Facebook, BLE Tribe. bledigital.com/tribe will also get you there. Or you can just search for it on Facebook and ask questions in there if you have questions for B2B members. It can be one thing to talk to us, and we're here to talk to you, but all of our B2B members are totally willing to answer your questions and are just standing by, I know, because they just, that community is so much more supportive and more beautiful than we had ever even planned for it to be. So jump in there and ask your questions too if you want to. And yeah, join us.
Yeah, and I totally forgot to mention too our early bird special for people that are, because we know that there are some of you out there that have just been like camped outside the virtual doors, like waiting for this. So we really want to honor you, and we have a amazing coupon. So maybe let's just give the code right now. We're just going to make that decision right now. So if you go and you want to go to brokeasstobadass.com. You can enter in B2B Spring 19. That's going to give you a whopping $500 off. That's right? $500 off. Yep.
Is it B2B Spring 500?
I thought it was B2B Spring.
Stand by, guys.
Stand by. Yeah. So if it is, we have to jump off and change an email real fast.
I wrote down Spring 500 up there, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, anyway, if you use that and it doesn't work, you know where we are. You know where to find us.
Wait, no, we're gonna tell you right now.
Okay, so listen though, it is only good through January 30th, just so you guys know. And of course, there's enrollment is open until the 12th. We're not here to be like, but
B2B Spring 500.
Oh my gosh, I gotta go.
Bye.
Just kidding. Okay. I'm so glad we said that right now. It's B2B Spring 500, and no worries, I actually have time. I think I have it scheduled for 11. See, we schedule our emails because we hook up our future selves. So there you go, B2B Spring 500, and that's going to be the best deal that you're going to see. So if you are a sexy, decisive action taker, there you go. And if you have any questions, again, reach out to us. We are so excited. This next round is going to be fire. And we have so many super fun things planned for our spring cohort. Oh my God, I love the word cohort.
And if you've done B2B already, you can always re-audit. You can always jump on the calls. We don't take anything away from anybody ever. Which is awesome. And we love it.
It's like the best to shift to pivot.
I know.
It feels so good. So our community, it's like, I feel like when you opt in,
you don't want to be anymore.
Yeah. And when you opt into our community, it's like, you're part of this family, and there is so much wisdom and energy and engagement and support that happens just by being a part of the community. You're automatically going to have all of your social media posts go up, and everything I don't know, just expands because you'll get the eyes of all of your B2B soul fam on there right away. And our group is so supportive. It's so cool. And it's really our dream come true, right? Where we're it was always our mission, because we had each other, to create a community where it's a community of support, so that people don't have to go at this alone. And
I keep seeing even still, I see new partnerships.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
People are doing joint ventures with each other, and I'm like, well, how do you guys know each other? They're like, oh, we met in B2B. I'm like,
it's the best.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, we couldn't have ever it's beyond our wildest dreams for sure.
Totally.
So awesome. B2B Spring 500. B2B Spring 500. Get that. Oh, and by the way, if you know somebody that wants to get the best deal on B2B, share this with them, because if you know somebody that's looking like they want to be building their online business this year with tons of support, hook them up. Let them know that this is one of those codes, right, that's going to be circulating, but it will expire on 1/30/919. So January 30th, this one expires. So awesome, guys. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you. We love you. And definitely, we love when people take screenshots and tag us at Brooke Asked About Us on Instagram so that we know that you're listening, and we can share your story, share your post, or share your story to ours. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for our training, or this week if you're listening on the podcast. Oh my God, it's like, what is time?
I feel like maybe we do these lives on another day soon so that we don't have to keep saying this.
Seriously, like something. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and let's give ourselves a buffer and not put them right after our other calls, because
you got to pee.
Our clients.
Okay, cool. So the podcast has ended. Cut. But JC, I wanted to answer your question, and it's not really related, but it's a great question. And I think the answer will make you and other people feel much better. So JC had a quick question. Tips to stay on top of main points and the chat at the same time while you're doing a Facebook Live. Here's my answer. It could be different from other people depending on who you ask. It just takes practice. Really is the truth of it. I multitask like a maniac, which actually, like, if you've gone through B2B, you know that there's no such thing as multitasking. You just kind of toggle back and forth. And as you guys have also seen, it sometimes takes away from my ability to participate well. But the other thing is, I used to work for a company where we would do online meetings and conferences and trainings with big groups of people where you'd have to kind of look back and forth at the chat while you talk. And it's just something that with practice gets easier. But also think about, as your business grows and expands and scales, you're going to have hundreds of people on your live sometimes, and you won't see everything. So just accept that and know that the things that are meant to be seen will be seen. People with the questions who are meant to be answered by you will be answered by you, and the others, hopefully someone in the community will jump in, or you can always address it after the fact and go back through the chat. The other thing is, when you're ready, you can have somebody help you to moderate that for you. So sometimes we'll have someone on and they'll be pulling the questions and putting them somewhere so that at the end of a training, you can go back and address any of the questions that came up. And then from there, you can create an FAQ, right? So if anybody's asking the same question over and over and over, there is a place to share that somewhere probably so that people aren't always asking that same question. But I would just give yourself some space and some grace, and the more you do it, the better you'll get, the easier it'll be. I don't know if that helps or not.
That's a great answer. Mine was going to be have a pua. So I don't know. We can't have my pua. But yeah, I think having support, training. Terry Best always says, train your community. Train your community to respond. Or like in your live, you can tell people, like, instead of you trying to drop things in, like ask somebody that's there all the time and just be like, oh, JC, could you drop that link for us if you have a chance? Like super light and fun. Cool.
Okay, now we're done.
Okay.
Okay. See you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.